Next stop, Roosevelt Street, Arts District, transfer to the line.
So I'm on board the Zero, heading up to Camelback, and we're gonna see if I can make the transfer to the 50 there, because sometimes this transfer works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. I think today it should, though. I checked the schedule. I'm recording this on a Saturday because buses only run every 30 minutes today, so this would be a really good test to see what happens.
Have a good day, sir.
Good day, mate. All right. Off he goes. All right, so here we are at one of the busiest intersections in all of Phoenix, that being Central Ave and Camelback Road. And I need to get over there. You can't really see it because there's all these cars blocking the way, but my stop's over there. So we just gotta wait for this traffic, and then I will get across. But today it looks like I should catch my bus well in time, so no problems here. But you know, it doesn't work like that every day. I've been sitting here for a few minutes now. That's not good. I don't know how long until he gets here, but I've been sitting here way too long, and the crosswalk just won't turn white, so I've been stuck here. Good news, we made it across, and literally my stop's right in front of us. So even despite having to sit at the crosswalk forever, I still should be okay. I'm not sure how long until he gets here, but I think at this point it's under 5 minutes. But we made it. And you can kind of see how the road kind of cuts out right here. The curb cutout's gonna be an important thing later. And just like that, we're aboard. That was only a few minutes, and okay, there were a lot of people at this stop, so overall, success. All right, back into base. So, as you guys saw there, that's a bus trip that I make very often. And so, today was Saturday. It worked perfectly fine. Nothing went wrong. But normally that's not what happens. All right, so I'm here in Transit app, and this is the app that I use to plan like all my trips and even do all my trips. And so what happens is when I press go on a route, for example, like here's the 50, the bus that I was taking earlier. But you know, it's telling me it's 18 minutes away. You see those two lines flashing over the 18? That's because there's real-time tracking on this vehicle. There's AVL, automatic vehicle location. See, it says it's 14 stops away. You know, this is just how I track where my buses are. So now if I go back to my current location, here's what happens. If you press, like for example, 7, I take this route all the time too. You see this go button. I hit it, you can set your destination, but what happens is when you get on board and you start moving, the real-time system actually switches to your phone's GPS location. So then what's the problem? Well, the problem is that there are times where this transfer cannot line up. And so what happens is you arrive at an intersection as your connecting bus is arriving too, and because you have to get back across the street to catch that other bus, by the time you get out and you get back across the street, that bus might already be gone. And then you have to wait, say 15, or in the case of Saturday, 30 minutes, because the buses don't run that often on Saturdays. Now, 30 minutes might seem like a lot of time, because it is. There are some days where the heat can also become a factor. Today was not one of those days, it was only 85, but there are some days where it can be over 100, it can be 105, summer, 115, and those are the days where sitting out there for 30 minutes, that could become a real problem very fast. So what's the fix? Well, I proposed a 2 to 3 minute holding policy at select intersections. So this is the same intersection of Central and Camelback, right? So let's say you're coming through here, you're about to cross, you kind of pull in right here. That's where my arrow is. That's where the stop is, where I got on today. You would hold there for 2 minutes. And then while that's happening, if the other bus is intersecting and then pulls in here, riders can go cross the street and then get on the other bus. This would only be at certain stops with a lot of transfer traffic like this one. because it's not going to impact the schedule too much. Buses already, they have delays or they have varying dwell times, which is basically how much time they're sitting around to let people get on and off. So those times already vary and they can be tracked with ABL. So over the past few months, I've been doing a lot of research on this topic. And so I found a lot of things that back up what I could experience. And I've talked to a few riders informally at bus stops and they've been like, yeah, I've missed a bus every now and then and it's very frustrating. It's like, what else can I do? You just have to sit there for 30 minutes. It's not good, guys. So about the research, I found a lot of things over the past few months when I've been researching projects and writing essays. So the first thing I found was about dwell time, like I was talking about earlier. I found a study, it showed that the dwell time that buses have, it always varies because, people are spending different amounts of time to get on and off. Sometimes they have to load a wheelchair on and that takes more time. So that already exists. If I were to implement a holding policy, you can kind of see like how is it affecting on-time performance. And that's one of the other counter arguments that I've been seeing is that this could seriously impact on-time performance. And the reason why I say no is because in the world of real-time bus tracking, it doesn't really matter if your bus is on time or not because like you still know where it is or you have a rough estimate of where it is because of where it's located. You just care about like where it is and am I going to be able to catch it? So I know people have concerns, probably the biggest one being delays, being on-time performance. And the reason why this holding policy wouldn't impact that is because, like I said, dwell times already vary. And because this would only happen at specific stops, it's not like this is going to happen at every major intersection. If you want things to change, this is where you're going to have to go. You can call customer service right here, or you can email them right here, let them know you want this change. You can also do the call center. There's also a specific form to file complaints. So that's my call to you, is to make something like this happen.